Howdy mates, good morning, how are we all doing? It is Sunday, May 8th, 2022, and by the way, it's a special day, too. It's Mother's Day, as a matter of fact. So, directing towards my mother, I just want to tell you, Happy Mother's Day, and I hope that you're having a fantastic Sunday. I look forward to seeing you in a few weeks. I already miss you, even though you were down here just a couple of weeks ago. So, where I'm at today is actually a place called Hathaway Park. This is kind of just to the east of Punta Gorda. So we are what you call a bit more inland today. But this body of water here, this is something called the Shell Creek. It's basically a tributary that will eventually feed into the Peace River. So with that being said, this stream is most likely freshwater. But of course, as you progress closer to the Peace River, the water will become more brackish. Because it's at a point where the Peace River then merges into the Charlotte Harbor. But I'm right now beating myself in the head at the moment, because little did I know that this particular stream right here, you can actually bring your kayak. Had I known that, I actually would have brought the kayak this morning. So I didn't really plan as accordingly. Whoops. Well, and plus it was actually raining quite a bit yesterday, so that would have been very difficult to set up a kayak anyways. There's always another time, of course. But needless to say, you will find all sorts of wildlife out here, especially when it comes to birds. You know, since we are now into the spring, more of the birds are going to come out. You know, just a moment ago, it might have been captured as soon as I started this video, there was a chance to stumble upon a swallowtailed kite. Now, when you hear that name, it's like, what? What does that mean? Well, a swallowtailed kite is actually a native bird found down here in Florida. They're usually noticeable by having black and white feathers. And the swallowtailed kite has a distinctive tail. It's actually quite fascinating to look at. So with its tail, it has a forked one. So like, think of me as holding up a peace sign, right? So when you see its tail, it literally has this same exact shape. It's like a fork. Or like the tail was split in half. So, with that being said, the shape of the body, they have like a slightly wider wingspan, and hence that's really how the bird gets its name, because it kind of resembles looking at a kite that is flying up in the air. But another reason I wanted to make this video was I stumbled upon this right here. I'm sure many of you who live down in Florida have seen these just about anywhere, especially near a stream. Now, some of you may be wondering, what is this? This looks familiar. Well, this is actually a shell that belongs to an invasive species. It's actually known as an apple snail. And they call it an apple snail just because of its sheer size. I mean, just as a comparison, just look how it fits onto my palm. You know, it nearly takes up my whole palm. So, they're very noticeable. Now, fortunately, this is an empty shell, so it is by no means occupied. These are invasive because they were introduced from another country. I believe where a lot of these come from are further down south. So as you get into parts of South America, that's where these are commonly found, and usually a very common cause for these to make their way up here is ships, for example, or even trade. So, you know, they start off young, they latch on to the boat, and then they eventually grow and make their way over here. So, not all of it is our fault. Some of it, they just simply latch on, and then they move to a new area. They also become invasive because any other shelling species, you know, especially the mollusk, because this is a type of mollusk, they tend to be crowded out because these guys tend to take up more space, and they're a lot more aggressive too, especially when it comes to feeding. But on the flip side, the good news is we do have a wading bird native to Florida called the Lipkin. And I'm sure many of you have heard of the Lipkin. They're actually the wading bird that is very, very loud and squawky. But they have like the beaks that have a bit of a downward curve, which is actually designed to allow them to feed on these types of species, or just any type of shelling species in general. That's just because with that curve, it just makes it easier for them to access. So in a sense, you know, Lipkins can actually act as a natural control agent, even though these are invasive. So it's really a matter of perspective, right? Here's like a little observatory of this place. It's a neat spot. And like I said, I am really beating myself on the head right now for not bringing the kayak out here. Gosh dang it. Because this seems like a really cool spot. Guess I'll have to do it next time. You know, given that I will soon be going on vacation. So I'll probably just have to wait till I get back. So alright, you guys, take care. Enjoy this view for a moment. And once again, journey on a journey is outwards. Take care, folks. See ya.